Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping into the latest from smart home appliance company Viomi Technology. And boy, their 2025 earnings report, it's a real tale of two halves. Let's break it all down.
So, check this out. At first glance, Viomi's 2025 looks like a real head-scratcher. You've got the full year showing fantastic growth, plus almost 15%. But then you look at just the second half and, whoa, a massive drop of nearly 26%. So what on earth is going on here? How do you get both of these stories in the same year?
Okay, let's start with the good stuff. We'll look at the full year picture because it really shows that despite some bumps, this is a company with a pretty solid foundation. For the whole year, Viomi pulled in over 2.4 billion Chinese yuan in revenue. That's a pretty hefty number, and it really sets the stage for what we're about to see. And that big revenue number, well, it translates to a growth rate of almost 15% compared to the year before. That's the kind of momentum any business would love to have. And you know what? It wasn't just about the revenue. They were actually profitable. They were sitting on a really healthy pile of cash, and they were taking care of their shareholders. We're talking dividends and a pretty big $20 million share repurchase program. So financially, things looked pretty good. Okay, but now we've got to flip the coin and look at the other side of this story, because that second half, that's where things got really challenging.
So what caused that big drop? Well, it was basically a perfect storm, a real 1-2 punch from outside the company. First, a big government subsidy program for home appliances, the kind of thing that gets people buying, well, it ended. And then, at pretty much the same time, one of their key partners, Xiaomi, started ordering less. You can imagine both of those things hitting at once. Yeah, that's going to hurt your sales numbers big time.
Here's the interesting part, though. While all this was happening, while their revenue was taking a hit, they were actually spending more. They upped their selling and marketing budget by over 30% and poured almost 16% more into R&D. So you got to see what they're doing here, right? They're playing the long game, planting seeds for the future, even when things got tough. So that brings up the big question. How are they going to deal with these problems at home and, make that extra spending worth it? Well, their answer is to look outward. They've got a brand new and pretty ambitious global strategy. And their founder and CEO, Chen, has been super clear about this. He's basically said, we are going to become the world-leading water technology company. And let me tell you, this isn't just some small change in direction. This is a massive shift in their entire strategy. And get this, when they say ambitious, they mean ambitious. We're not talking about, few percentage points here and there. Management is actually targeting triple-digit growth overseas for 2026. Wow, that is a seriously bold target.
So, how are they going to pull that off? Well, their plan is built on 4 main ideas. First, obviously, go hard on those overseas markets. Second, don't forget about home. Keep making unique products that stand out. Third, get ahead of the curve with technology, especially by using more AI. And fourth, build up those global partnerships to help them scale up. Makes sense, right?
So all of this really sets the stage for a super interesting and honestly a make or break year for Viomi. It feels like things could go one of 2 very different ways. And for anyone keeping an eye on the company, it really just boils down to this. You've got the bull case, the optimistic view, where this whole global water strategy is a huge win. The growth they get overseas completely blows past the weakness back home. But then you have the bear case, the pessimistic view. And that's where the problems at home are just too much, and all that money they're spending just keeps eating into their profits. So, yeah, that leaves us with the million-dollar question for 2026, doesn't it? Viomi has the plan, they have the vision, but we all know that in a tough market like this, it's all about execution. They are placing a massive bet that going global will solve their domestic headaches. The only thing left is to watch and see if that bet pays off.